Yo guys, what's going on? Ace is here today with another video. In today's video, we are going to be talking about gear-based matchmaking, skill-based matchmaking if you want to make it a broad term, but it does seem like Arc Raiders is going to have some sort of MMR system that is based off of the gear you are taking in. Now, as somebody who has over 3,000 hours in Escape from Tarkov and has tried multiple other extraction shooters, whether they're still around or not doesn't really matter. Is this a good decision from Embark? If you want my honest answer, the answer is no. It's actually a terrible decision. But will it still have some positives? Yes. Also, we don't know how strict this system is going to be. So a lot of this is up in the air right now, and we don't really know how strong this system could be, if it's going to be an average of things, whether it's your KD plus your gear score plus your play time. It does, whatever it is, we won't know until we have weeks and or even months of time with this system for it to really start to put us in those correct lobbies that it thinks we are supposed to be in. But that's kind of the reason I'm making this video. We're not supposed to be in any kind of certain lobby, in my opinion. The way extraction shooters work is you are rewarded for your skill. You are rewarded for taking in better gear. If I load up an Escape from Tarkov raid right now, and listen, I understand Arc Raiders isn't Tarkov, but it's heavily based off of Tarkov. Okay, I mean, let's just face it. Arc Raiders was supposed to be a PvE game when it first was announced, and now here we are in 2025, and it's a full-on extraction shooter. Most likely because of the success of Escape from Tarkov and it working for Arc Raiders. So there's definitely inspiration being taken into account. So if we're going to heavily inspire from a game, why are we not putting in the most important aspect of Tarkov PvP? If I load up a Tarkov raid with armor class 6, with class 6 penetrating rounds, and I go against a team of 2, or let's just say I am in a 1v1. Let's say it was prioritized, even though it's not in Tarkov, but let's say I'm in a 1v1. 9 times out of 10, I am going to win that gunfight. Now, you might be thinking, well, that doesn't sound right. You didn't hear me correctly. I said 9 times out of 10, not 10 times out of 10. If you're on the other side, if you're the 1 out of 10, if you are the 10% variable of you getting that kill and Escape from Tarkov, you are going to feel absolutely amazing. And it is one of the main reasons Tarkov works so well. That you can go into a raid with a pistol and kill one of the most geared out Giga Chad people, and you can take millions of rubles worth of gear out of one raid just with one bullet out of a pistol. Realistically speaking, if you have something that can penetrate a face mask, you don't even need to put a magazine in your pistol. You need one shot, one round chambered. So we obviously do not have one-shot killing in Arc Raiders, and I completely understand that, but we are going to get to a point where there is not really a point in progressing. There is not a point in grinding for good gear because you're just going to go against pro players. You're going to go against people that don't have jobs, that are unemployed, that are just absolute sweats, that want to steamroll. And while I will say it would suck being on the lower end of that and always getting stomped by players that are going to have better gear than you, that's simply not going to happen all the time when you're talking this many people playing this game. When you're going to have crossplay on and there's going to be over 1 million players at launch, I mean, the fact that they are wasting time on gear-based matchmaking really doesn't make sense to me. Throw the players into the best connection lobby. Do not worry about what gear they have on and just let them survive. I do not understand this fantasy with every single game studio wanting to implement skill-based matchmaking, engagement-optimized matchmaking, gear-based matchmaking. It just really doesn't work. With the current systems and the way things were in the server slam, I do not think it'll be that big of an issue in the first few weeks. I actually don't think there's going to be a lot of people even complaining or noticing in the first few weeks because people are going to have gear fear. This is what's going to save Embark from a lot of backlash in the short term coming up. People are going to have gear fear. They are not going to put on that medium shield. They are not going to use those good weapons. They are going to continue to use light shields with the Pharaoh, maybe bring in an anvil if they're feeling kind of spicy. And they are going to use the bare bones weaponry. And they're going to do that probably for at least a week, maybe even 2, and all the very casual players might do it for a month. So you're always going to have lower skilled players because the higher skilled players are going to still be wearing the light shields. They're not going to be putting on medium shields. They're not going to be using that good of weapons. And with how they're talking about doing gear-based matchmaking, a lot of players will then be incentivized to not bring in good gear unless they're using a Raider hatch key, which you can only purchase 1 a day, or you can craft them. So what you'll start to see is people just using their free loadouts every single time, going and getting the components to craft Raider hatch keys, and then you will see people go in with their good gear to do a quest that's a little bit tougher. They're going to bring that Raider hatch key in their safe pockets, and they're going to be taking hatches anyway. So this is now already, the game isn't even out, ladies and gentlemen. It's already creating a system with this coming out that you already know not to use good gear. You're already instilling into players, don't even use anything good. Just use dog shit all the time. Because if you do use something good, we're going to put you against the guy who has something just as good or better because you're trying to use something good. You're getting punished for being better at the game. So whether this is Embark trying to keep you on the game longer by creating it kind of time sinky, by, making you have a better chance to lose your better gear quicker, there could be hidden motives. I think they're just trying to go with this trend of, we want the very, very, very casual player to not get steamrolled. And if you haven't noticed, that whole ideal has been thrown out the window. The biggest SBMM game that exists was Call of Duty, who protected the casuals to the fullest extent, which they have removed skill-based matchmaking in their latest title, Black Ops 7, for the upcoming release. Their beta, they removed it, and it skyrocketed in popularity and success. Arc Raiders already has popularity and success, but I don't think this is the right call. I don't think this is the right play. Now, I know there's going to be tons of people in the comments. Like, you just want to steamroll little Timmy. You're fucking damn right. You're damn right. I want to be rewarded for being better at the game. What is so hard to conceptualize about that? If I'm going to sink some time into playing Arc Raiders, if I'm going to, get some heavy weapons, I want to be able to get a little bit of extra cash here and there by not really worrying about who I have to go against. If I want to go hit some spots that have good loot, and I want to roll up in there, and there's a couple solo Timmies trying to get some good loot in a high-risk area, I want to take them out. I want to take everything in their bag, and I want to dip. But to say that now every single person I go against is going to have better gear than me, potentially, or equal gear to me, there's no reward. You're taking away what makes extraction shooters. You're taking away the adrenaline of getting a fat kit, getting some expensive stuff. It's just not the move. And honestly, I'm going to say this, I'm going to be kind of an ass about this, but anybody who actually disagrees with this take has not put enough time into games like Tarkov. And there's going to be the one guy that says, well, I have 2,000 hours in Tarkov. You're so wrong. All right, you know what, buddy? You can have your opinion. I don't really care. Overall, I know what works, and this is a system that will work. It just will take away from the experience. So, it's one of those things, like, I believe you saw issues with this in the Cycle Frontier, I believe. It was one of those things where I believe they implemented it in, like, Season 1. I mean, the game died quick as hell anyway, but I think it was implemented, like, Season 1 or something. I genuinely can't remember. It's been so long since the Cycle's been around, but I think there was a Gear MMR, and you very, very quickly found out that the game just wasn't fun. It just was not fun. When you have the lower end gear, the lower end kits, fighting all the aliens in the Cycle, and once you got into these purple shields and purple weapons, exotic weapons, I mean, it just wasn't fun. It just was not fun because everybody had fucking purple shields, and it was just like, at that point, it really is just skill over anything. Your gear does not matter. And it felt like I was, playing a fucking competitive tournament instead of actually having fun. In Arc Raiders, I want to be fun. And this change, it just feels like it's going to take a ton of fun away from it. So that's my take on it. Man, stuff is just coming out every single day about Arc Raiders, stuff that I want to talk about, and I just don't have time to upload some of these gameplays and stuff for you guys. So I'll get to it eventually. I'm gonna start uploading 2-3 times a day, I think, because I do want to get some of this stuff up. So I appreciate you guys a ton. I'll talk to you very soon.